this hour?
I can't sleep.
What? Take your sleeping pill.
I don't want to. I always wake up with a headache and a dull brain like a hangover.
You've never had a hangover in your life, and your brain is anything but dull.
That's what you think.
What are you reading at this hour?
Oliver Twist.
Dickens, huh? Isn't that a little depressing? Shouldn't you be reading, one of those young girl romance novels?
Charles, I'm slightly more sophisticated than that. I adore Dickens, and I identify with Oliver. He's all alone and misunderstood, betrayed, innocent.
You identify with all that?
Stop laughing. Anyways, I don't want to sleep just yet.
Well, I've got to get back to work now.
No, don't go. Stay and visit with me a while. I rarely get visitors.
Okay. How have you been feeling, by the way?
I'm okay. Feeling a little better today. Not as tired as yesterday.
What's the doctor say?
He says the cancer has metastasized to my liver.
No.
But he also says the new treatment will go a long way towards stopping the cancer from reaching my brain. Doctor says my immune system is compromised, so no touching. And no hugging, and definitely no kissing. You never finished your story.
Oh. We don't have enough time.
Charles, you always have time.
Well,
Please?
okay. Just a short installment. But I've still got work to do.
While you tell your story, may I look at your pocket watch?
I don't know. It's belonged to my grandfather. It's a family heirloom of sorts.
Well, I promise. I will guard it with my life. Cross my heart, hope to die. It's lovely. How do you open it?
Oh, push that button right there.
To Jeremiah Carroll, congratulations on your retirement. You must cherish this, huh?
That's all I have to remember my grandfather. I've never shared that with anyone before.
Well, thank you for sharing it with me.
Oh, where did we leave Professor Echo? Was it chapter 8 or chapter 9?
We're up to chapter 8, but...
That's right, chapter 8.
No.
What's the matter?
I've changed my mind. Tonight, I want to talk about you, Mr. Charles James Carroll III.
I don't want to talk about myself. I've had a very uneventful life so far, and I've already told you too much already.
No, I love that you have 3 first names. Come on, just a little. Okay, then I promise I'll go to sleep.
Well, what do you want to know?
You were telling me about your years in the Navy. So, you told me you were in the Navy. I just hate it when you start a story and then leave off.
Well, it wasn't the Navy, it was the Merchant Marine.
What's the difference?
Well, in the Navy, the Navy's the military, and the Merchant Marine, well, it's just different.
How? Now, you always said that people should take time to explain themselves.
Well, in the Navy, you just can't quit when you want to. That's the difference.
Were you in any wars? Did they shoot at you?
Well, I was in a war, the Vietnam conflict.
Conflict? So it wasn't a war?
Well, it started technically as a police action to keep communism out of Vietnam.
Did you see the world? Like Hong Kong and Madrid and Australia and Mozambique?
I saw Hong Kong.
In Madrid?
Never got to Madrid.
Mozambique?
No Mozambique.
So, what did you do?
I was a radio operator.
Were you a disc jockey?
Not exactly.
Explain it to me. You said you were on the radio.
Yes, I'm a radio operator. I keep track with the other ships so we don't bump into each other in the middle of the night.
But I thought the captain did that with radar from the bridge.
Oh, yes, the captain does do that with radar from the bridge. But the radio operators keep in touch with each other, keeping track of messages, the weather reports. I don't think this is exactly a career decision for you, so let's just leave the merchant marine alone.
When I get better, I intend to be a bum. Live on the beach, sit on a rock, stare at the ocean, and collect seashells and sell them to tourists for ashtrays.
Donna, the beachcomber.
I'll charge $1 per seashell, and once I've collected 100 seashells, I'll have made $100. It's okay that I don't have what my father considers a well-developed work ethic.
I must admit, I've never met anyone like you.
You know what, Charles? Something I have to tell you.
And that is?
I'm very old, Charles. It is true. I may be even older than you.
I doubt that.
I'm older than time, older than dusty books, older than Dead Sea Scrolls, older than Mickey Mouse, and older than oysters.
Oysters?
Have you ever looked real close at an oyster?
Got it.
Good. That proves you're paying attention.
Have you been crying today?
Yes.
What about?
When's the last time you cried, Charles?
A long time ago.
Were you here this afternoon?
Now you know I only work evenings. What happened today?
My mother came and visited me. She was crying. I told her to stop.
Oh, so you do get visitors?
Father.
Yes.
My father, I swear, he wants to be friends with everybody in the whole wide world. And he has this motto. He always says, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. I mean, he must have told me this a billion times. What do you think about that?
You want to know what I think about that?
Sure.
That's a ton of horse shit.
You sure are funny, Charles. But you know a lot of things. A lot of things, Charles. A lot of things. Maybe even as smart as my father. Smarter even.
What's he do?
He bugs me.
For a living.
He's a corporate lawyer.
So that's where you get your brains.
No. No, not from my father. I'm more like my mother.
What's your mother like?
She is a quiet, decent, proper lady who is out of touch with anyone else's reality. She doesn't listen, she doesn't hear, she just does what my father tells her to do, and I swear she thinks he is God, but I know he isn't. Charles, have you ever been married?
Now, where did that come from?
Came from my curiosity.
Well, then I'll satisfy your curiosity. No, never been.
Why not? I mean, you must have been quite a catch. You still are, of course, in an old man sort of way.
Well, thems that were ready for me, I wasn't ready for them. When I was ready for them, they weren't ready for me. So I tried, honey, I honestly tried.
Was it sex?
That's a little personal, don't you think?
Charles, I am quite verbally sophisticated when it comes to sex, you can tell me.
Well, I knew absolutely nothing. No, I knew a lot about sex. Every street corner myth, every dirty joke, every fairy tale, every street corner myth about men and women. The streets of Chicago weren't exactly the most enlightened place to learn about sex in a healthy way.
Charles, you know something I've been thinking?
What's that?
Nothing should ever die. Anything that has ever lived should never die. Ever. I just hate it when something dies, don't you?
Yes.
Nothing should ever die. Except maybe flies. They're disgusting. Now, I don't want to go to sleep just yet. You never told me about what happened before the Navy. Like where you were born and the Merchant Marine and all that.
Well, before the Navy, get ready for a shocker. I was a priest.
Really?
Yes, really.
Well, but I thought once you were a priest, you were always a priest.
So did I.
Well, what happened to the priest? Was he defrocked? Did he quit?
He just changed his mind about things, about important things.
When was the last time the priest went to Mass?
Been a long time. Years, in fact.
Is it because he lost faith in God?
No. He just found that too many of his colleagues thought about religion as a business rather than spirituality. He realized that there were too many moneylenders in the temple, but he didn't have the courage to point them out, let alone kick them out.
Well, I would have spoken up.
I don't doubt you.
For a while, during a time of great sorrow and depression, when his faith was at its lowest ebb, he even flirted with becoming an atheist.
Really? An atheist?
Can you imagine that? An atheist priest officiating over the consecration of the bread and wine?
Could he?
And after studying all those learned passages and consulting with the most brilliant scholars, he realized that violated every principle of philosophical doctrine to be an atheist. Because,
Yes, go on.
what if he was wrong and they were right? I do keep a rosary just in case.
Oh, Charles, it's not a very substantial reason to believe in God.
Do you have a better reason?
You're supposed to believe in God on faith, and faith alone.
Just wait a moment. You don't have to be committing intellectual suicide.
I mean, you can't have proof.
Well, miracles are proof. Would a good old-fashioned miracle do it for you?
No, it could take centuries. No, that's not a good reason.
What if the church tells you about a miracle? Isn't that proof enough?
If the church is telling you of the miracle and you weren't there to witness it yourself, then we're back to faith now, aren't we?
Impeccable logic, unassailable brightness on your part. You know, I used to hang around with some intellectual Jesuits. I think you'd enjoy meeting them. And you could hold your own with them on these intellectual discussions.
I want another chapter of Professor Echo.
No, it's too late now.
We left Professor Echo on the Shanghai Express, remember? Professor Echo, ventriloquist, the world's greatest used car salesman.
Okay, just a short installment.
When we last heard from Professor Echo, where was he?
He escaped from the midget nudist camp, and he had an assignment on the Shanghai Express. That was Chapter 8. This will be Chapter 9.
I thought Chapter 8 was on the Mississippi Riverboat.
No, Chapter 8 was when he was disguised as the world's tallest, nude, one-eyed, communist, left-handed midget. Remember?
His mission was to capture the most dreadful, fantastic, feared weapon of all time, the blunderbuss gun. He had to keep the blunderbuss gun from falling into the hands of the spy queen.
What was the blunderbuss gun?
Oh, it was a real sinister weapon. It was a terrible weapon. It could do horrible things.
Like what?
Well, the spy queen, she worked with the master of disguises. She studied with the great wizard of disguises and makeup, the great Whosis.
Who's this? What kind of name is Who's this? That sounds made up, if you ask me.
Well, it's not. He was so good at disguises that when he would change his face, his friends would come and look at him and say, "Who's this?" He was that good. He was a great spy. You know what made him such a great spy?
What?
Nobody knew he was a spy. Like, if I introduced you to my friend, and I said, "Here's my friend Joe. He's a spy," that would make him a bad spy.
So you're saying that, I mean, if the spy queen is so good, then I could be the spy queen, and you wouldn't even know it.
Yes, you could. That's how great she was.
So was the spy queen on the Shanghai Express?
Professor had her tip that she was, and he had to find her and make her fall in love with him to stop her.
So he gets on the train, going at 1,000 miles an hour, the speeding train from hell. He goes from car to car, all empty. Finally, he sees her all alone.
He walks up to her all James Bond-like, and takes her into his arms.
And then they kiss.
Yes, he takes her in his arm. He kisses her right in the caboose. And she says, "I've waited for this for the long time." And while he's kissing her, she changes her disguise, and the professor opens his eyes and sees that he's kissing Curly from the Three Stooges. Ugh.
I always thought Curly was kind of cute. I wouldn't mind kissing him. Not for a long time, mind you, just to peck on the cheek.
So he looks at her and he says, "I'm going to save you from a life of crime." And she looks up to the professor and she says,
Charles!
No, his name's Professor Echo.
No. Not the story. Go back a second to your life, the priest part. I can't stop thinking about it. Was it real?
Well, yes, it was real.
Were you serious?
Oh, well, for a while it was serious. Then I got fed up with it.
When you quit, did you have a hard time adjusting back to the real world?
"That's a good question." It wasn't like it was from kind of a novel. It was I got bored and didn't want to be taken care of for the rest of my life. Here I was, right out of seminary, full of scholarship in Latin and mutual book learning and contemplation and denial of worldly things and celibacy. You know, it was okay. I rather liked the Spartan life and didn't mind the loneliness either. But they just took too much care of me. Then something happened on my first assignment.
Our parish had a housekeeper who was the sweetest and gentlest old Irish lady God ever created. O'Sullivan. Bridget O'Sullivan, if you can believe that. She was the most competent, starched, laced lady that, but one day she did something, and you won't believe this, but
She did my laundry without asking me.
Well, what's so strange about the housekeeper doing your laundry?
I came home and found all my clothes perfect and folded and put in my dresser. Socks, shirts, perfect. Like soldiers on parade. I took one look at that and I went nuts.
What did you do?
I threw the clothes back on the floor and I started screaming. She came running back down the hall into my room and without hesitation started to pick up all the clothes. She didn't ask me, did I have a reason for throwing the clothes on the floor? Was there some logic? Was there some reason, no matter how insane? I told her to stop, and she kept picking up the clothes. That's when I slapped her.
You slapped her?
Backhand across the face.
What did she do?
She didn't do anything. She just left the room.
Did she turn you in?
No, nothing ever came of it.
Did you apologize to her?
No. I thanked her for making me realize the priesthood wasn't for me.
So all that seminary training is wasted.
Oh no. You know, one day you'll learn that knowledge, any knowledge, can come in handy someday.
Did you really study Latin?
Of course.
Do you still speak it?
I'll go and chant in the shower once in a while.
So then you joined the Navy.
We're talking way too much about me.
But your life is so fascinating. You have done so much. And I haven't done anything in my life. When I grow up, I want to be just like you.
No, you don't. I don't want to hear you say anything like that again.
I'm sorry. I just meant about the adventures and travels.
Look at the time. I'm way behind schedule. I should not have been here this long. Take your sleeping pill like you promised, and then tomorrow night, chapter 9.
Okay, there. Now tell.
All right.
The spy queen was working for the evil country of Spumoni, and they were developing that weapon. What was it?
The blunderbuss gun.
Right. And the professor had to stop her from using it.
How did it work?
The blunderbuss gun was so sinister it was outlawed by the Geneva Convention Center. It could do scary things. When you shot the blunderbuss gun, it shot flowers, and when the enemy smelled the flowers, they fell asleep. They could rule the entire world.
Oh, wow, it's incredible.
As I told you, she was the most beautiful and sinister woman who ever lived. But the professor found out that she had a weakness, and he used that weakness to exploit her and to foil her plans from keeping him from getting the blunderbuss gun. You see, the spy queen, you won't believe this, she was a sucker for. She was a sucker for. Hey, Lisa, are you getting any of this?
No. I mean, yes. yes, I am. I'm awake. I'm wide awake.
We'll finish this later.
Well, it is getting late. It's time to quit.
Charles,
What?
I just love Professor Echo. He's really a great guy. The Spy Queen must really love him too.
She probably does.
Will they ever get married?
I don't think so.
I think they will. I think they will. Charles,
Yeah?
don't you worry about me.
Okay, I won't.
But I know you will.
Well, then you can't stop me, can you?
No, I can't.
There's something I should tell you.
What is that?
I really do love you.
I know that, I really do, but that doesn't give you the right to worry. It doesn't.
Well, maybe it does. Maybe not. Who knows? All I know, this is the most inane conversation I've had in a long time.
Charles, there's something I have to tell you.
What's that?
I love you too. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's okay. Oh, the doctor said no kissing.
What doctor? Can you take me back to my room now?
I've known red-headed girls who made me smile, and blonde-haired girls for who I'd walk 500 miles, and girls with coal black hair who kissed me once in a while, but I never knew the joys of a brown-haired girl like you. I've been with girls who used a salad plate, and girls who more than kissed on a first date. I've been with girls who said that they were my soulmate, but I never knew the joys of a brown-haired girl like you. Whenever I'm with you, my mind is just a little clearer. Whenever
Where's Lisa Smith? I'm looking for Lisa. Lisa? Lisa, are you awake?
Okay.
Of course I'd come.
It's a little early for you to start work, no? Flowers. They for me?
Oh, these. I bought these for you.
That's sweet. You can put them on that chair over there.
So, what happened?
I died today.
You didn't die, you coded. They kept you alive.
Felt like I died.
When you die, you'll know it.
From what the doctor says, I'll know by the end of the day. I'm really glad to see you.
Glad to see you too. Listen, Lisa,
It sounds serious.
there's something I need to do.
What is it?
It's more of a question.
Question?
Something I have to ask you.
You better hurry. You don't have much time.
Come on, be serious. We've been together a lot now.
As long as I've been in the hospital.
You know, all the stories and things we've been through. I've grown rather fond of you. You know that, don't you?
I'm fond of you too. You're my favorite human being in the whole world.
Well, you're much more than my favorite human being in the whole wide world.
Are you trying to say you love me?
Basically, yes. I love you, Lisa. I love you more than anything.
More than anything in the entire world?
Yes. The entire world.
Are you trying to propose to me?
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Lisa Smith. Will you marry me? Well, the suspense is killing me.
I don't know. It'll take some thinking.
What?
Oh.
Take some thinking.
Of course I will marry you. Who would have thought that Professor Echo and the Spy Queen would bring two people together and fall in love just like them?
But they never got married.
Please. Please finish the story and let them get married.
Of course.
Promise? Promise you'll finish the story and they'll get married and they'll live happily ever after.
Sure.
Did you bring your rosary?
I did. Why?
I'd like to go to sleep now, and I want to fade off listening to you pray. I don't want to die, Charles. I don't want to die.
I know. But everyone dies.
What's the point? What's the point in life, I mean?
Well, since everyone dies, we want to make sure that our lives is counted for something.
I haven't done anything in my life. I wanted to travel and see the world. I wanted to see Hong Kong and Madrid and Australia and Mozambique.
But you have done something good. You've made me happy again. What greater gift can humans do?
I know something greater.
What's that?
When I die, I want you to go back to church.
I don't understand.
You can't believe in God just because you might be wrong. You have to have faith. I mean, maybe you'll re-enter the priesthood. That would be my greatest work before I die, to restore your faith in God. So promise me.
I promise.
Okay. Now you can finish the rosary.
In Latin or English?
English.
I believe in God, the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth, and in Jesus Christ, his only Son, our Lord. Lisa? Lisa?
promise me?
I wanna miss the touch of your hand. I wanna miss the warmth of your kiss. Every time I say goodbye.